Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you've been watching the markets lately, you know that finding a genuinely safe haven for your hard-earned retirement savings feels, well, more urgent than ever. Today, we're taking a brutally honest look at Patriot Gold Group. We are going to dive straight into the data, the fine print, and the verified customer experiences to see if this company actually deserves to handle your life savings. We're cutting right through the marketing speak to give you the unvarnished truth. But before we get into their stellar reputation and incredibly fast service, we have to start by asking a much more fundamental question. Is Patriot Gold even right for you? Because the reality is, they just aren't for everyone. We have to look at whether you even qualify to get your foot in the door with this firm. And the absolute crucial point here is their massive $50,000 minimum investment just to open a precious metals IRA. Now, while they do offer direct cash purchases starting at $10 grand, if you want the tax advantages of a retirement account, $50,000 is the absolute floor. To put that into perspective, that's actually more than the median American salary just to open an account. This immediately establishes a really high barrier to entry. It filters out smaller investors right from day one and clearly signals that this company is tailoring its services strictly toward high net worth individuals and larger retirement rollovers. Okay, moving on to part one. Meet Patriot Gold Group, 40 years of history. Operating as a family-run business out of Seal Beach, California since 1986, Patriot positions themselves as an investor-direct company. They claim this bypasses those typical retail markups, which honestly matters now more than ever. With gold recently hitting staggering record highs of over $5,500 and wild market volatility everywhere, having a direct-to-investor dealer with decades of experience navigating these exact swings is their major selling point. In an industry literally known for high employee turnover, being in the market for nearly 40 years is a massive indicator of stability. Let's jump right into part two, the good stuff: speed, ratings, and perks. So Patriot's single biggest advantage in the entire marketplace is speed. When you're rolling over a 401k or traditional IRA, the time your money spends in transit is time it just isn't working for you. While the industry standard for setting up an account is somewhere around 7 to 10 business days, which, let's be real, can feel a lot like waiting in an endless line at the DMV, Patriot completely cuts the red tape. They get your account set up and funded in a lightning-fast 24 to 48 hours, coordinating with the custodian and the depository totally seamlessly. And they back up that incredible speed with some incredibly consistent ratings. Looking across all the major consumer platforms, they hold an A+ with a Better Business Bureau and perfect 5-star scores on both Trustpilot and Consumer Affairs. What reviewers consistently rave about is their dedicated direct access representatives. You aren't getting passed around some massive faceless call center. You're often working with the exact same senior partner from your very first purchase to your final distribution years down the line. But here is where the perks get truly elite. If you're rolling over $250,000 or more from an existing retirement account, you unlock their highly coveted no-fee-for-life program. That means Patriot Gold actually covers your IRA setup fees, your annual custodial fees, and your storage costs indefinitely. Over a 10 or 20-year retirement timeline, dodging those annual administrative costs compounds significantly. It can literally save you thousands of dollars, keeping way more of your wealth right there in physical metal where it belongs. And speaking of that physical metal, your massive investments are kept incredibly secure. IRS rules mandate that IRA metals must be stored in an approved facility, right? While Patriot strictly utilizes segregated storage at highly secure third-party depositories like Brinks Global Services and the Delaware Depository. Segregated storage is absolutely vital to understand. It basically means your specific individual coins and bars are kept entirely separate from other clients' pooled holdings. When you finally take a distribution, you receive the exact same coins you originally purchased. No mix-ups. All right, time for part three, the catch: high minimums and hidden fees. Let's break down their steepest disadvantages compared to the typical industry standard. First, as we mentioned, that barrier to entry is double or even quintuple the industry average. Second, and this is a major frustration if you like to do your own research, there's a complete lack of online pricing transparency. You literally cannot compare their coin prices on their website. And finally, they offer absolutely zero platinum or palladium options. If you're a sophisticated investor looking for broad, four-metal diversification within your IRA, Patriot Gold just can't help you. They strictly sell gold and silver. Let's move to part four: fees, storage, and rules. Because of their investor direct model, you'd probably expect everything to be listed cleanly online, right? Well, in reality, their fee schedule is completely hidden from their website until you actually request a quote. Once you do finally get a representative on the phone, here is how the fees actually work. There's a $225 setup fee and a $260 rollover fee. But to be fair, they graciously waive these if you invest over $30,000. There's also an annual fee of around $180 for maintenance and storage, which is waived if your account balance is over $100,000. While the fee waivers are definitely generous, the fact that you cannot just comparison shop their exact coin prices or spreads online without a mandatory sales call is a major point of friction. Which brings us to a critical consumer protection moment in this explainer. As this regulatory warning from the CFTC and FINRA reminds us, you really have to look out for your own safety. Because Patriot doesn't list coin prices online, you must explicitly demand their exact markup numbers from your rep before you sign a single piece of paperwork. Think about it. If the actual market price of gold is $2,000, but a dealer charges you $4,000 for a coin, that's a 100% markup that instantly vaporizes a huge chunk of your equity on day one. Always, always do the math on the spot price of gold versus what they are charging you per coin to ensure you are getting a fair deal. Okay, part 5, the verdict and free guide. Let's bring it all together. So, here is the brutally honest takeaway. If you easily meet that $50,000 minimum, if you want a lightning-fast 24-hour rollover process, and you really value having a highly rated, dedicated account representative, Patriot Gold Group is an elite choice. And if you have over $250,000 to invest, their no-fee-for-life program is practically unbeatable. However, for smaller investors, anyone seeking platinum, or folks who just absolutely refuse to get on the phone to see a price tag, you simply must look elsewhere. Now, understanding the nuances of these companies is really just step 1. Are you ready to see exactly how a precious metals IRA can mechanically protect your portfolio against out-of-control inflation and central bank money printing? The rules can definitely be complex, but getting educated doesn't have to be. We've actually done the heavy lifting for you. Click the link in the description right now to claim your completely free Gold IRA Blueprint Guide. It walks you step by step through how to navigate the fees, pick the right metals, and learn the absolute smartest, safest way to invest for your future. Ultimately, you've got to ask yourself, in an era of totally unpredictable inflation and endless money printing, is your retirement relying on hope, or is it anchored in physical reality? Grab that free guide below and take control of your financial future. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.